environmental initiatives over the past 4 years. Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Chairman. As you can see from the beginning, where the executive summary is, the Council has an environmental management statement which has been in place since the early 1990s. And part of that statement requires us to make periodic public reports to update where we are. And this is what this report does. Now, it wasn't until we started to pull this report together I just realised how much we do, in fact, do across this borough to improve the environment with new initiatives, to try and do our bit to reduce global warming and so on. This report lists numerous activities that we are involved in, and I'm very proud to be part of this council team that does so much to enhance and beautify and look after this wonderful town that we live in. And I think we all agree that it's one of those places that you don't really want to leave. You can understand why the world and his wife want to move here because of the natural beauty of the place. And it's our responsibility as the council to make sure that beauty stays with us. And I think this report highlights a lot of the initiatives that we are undertaking. There's far too many to list them all, but I will just go through a few points that I think are worth raising. For example, we've got the solar PV that we've been putting on council house and other buildings' roofs. I think we've done 935 council homes so far, £350,000 worth of free electricity to the tenants of those particular buildings. We have introduced, developed a carbon management centre in conjunction with Michelle, which is the Centre of Excellence for Carbon Reducing Technology. We are the first council in the country to sign up to the Earth Charter, where possible we abide by the various statements within that charter. We've got green hubs in all 12 libraries. Our core strategy encourages the renewable energy and improved energy efficiencies in new buildings. We encourage community gardens, give and take days where people can swap various bits of computers and electric items and things like that to save going to landfill. We encourage environmental clean-up days. We've become a fair trade town. We've got the fair trade town status in 2014. Parks and gardens, we've got 12 green flags. I mean, the list is endless, Chairman, and this report highlights all those initiatives. So I take pleasure in presenting it and ask the Cabinet approve the recommendations on page 2 of the report.
Seconder? Councillor Michael Filer. Did you want to speak now?
May I speak after the...
Yes, of course, yes. Yes, I suspect you want to talk a little bit about waste and recycling and some other issues. Questions from members not on the council, not on the cabinet. Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, thank you. Just really a comment. This paper, like the two previous papers, is all such positive news, I think, and congratulations again to all involved. And you know, obviously the LED street lighting, which has come on stream very recently, that's such a great innovation, I think, for the town. And we can't be, well, any green than we are. We're greener than the Green Party, I think. Congratulations to all involved in this report, and say the other two previous reports. It's all very, very positive for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councillor Stanley Watts.
Thank you, Chairman. I think it's important for Bournemouth to have this green commitment, because obviously there's so much natural environment here. It's worth preserving, and it's also important to have a very clean town. And I've seen the environmental cleans. I just wondered whether the cabinet member can elaborate on the environmental cleans and tell me when they'll be held throughout the year.
Thank you, Councillor Stanley Watts. Councillor Smith.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Well, I was very pleased actually to participate one in my ward only last week, where we had a good old clean up in Dean Park Road, and all the teams turned out and did a wonderful job. On Sunday morning, I joined a very exciting gentleman who lives on the East Cliff called Peter Ryan, who runs an organisation called Dorset Devils. And I joined Council of the Fires, and we joined in with a community clean-up along the seafront and collected numerous bags of rubbish. There are environmental clean-ups all across the town at various times throughout the year, and the department are always happy to help and support any residents in any parts of the town that want to get on and organise something. We'll be there with all our teams to join in. We don't have a set programme or set calendar of particular areas. We very much depend on local knowledge and local information coming forward. So I'd only encourage various community groups, if they want to organise something in their particular area, make contact and we will do our best to support and help and encourage it to happen.
I think the other part of the answer, Councillor Stanley Watts, is yes, they are very much community-led, and I took part in one on the West Cliff a few weeks ago. But of course, when we get to the reported item 12 on the agenda, there is an additional amount of funding that has been allocated to deep cleaning of the main shopping areas and enhanced street cleaning. So it isn't just a one-sided piece of work. The council is making a financial commitment, as it has done through its budgets over the last 4 or 5 years, but further resource, when it's available, will be coming through, as you'll see in the later report. Councillor Michael Fowler.
Thank you, Leader. I'd like to concentrate on street lighting and LED, because there's some points here that members won't appreciate, or won't know. They'll appreciate, but they won't know. First of all, we read that under street lighting, in May 2014, a programme commenced to replace 16,627 street lights with LED. That started in May 14, and it was finished by the end of March 2015. And if I stress that number, 16,627, and the first thing I want to do is to pay tribute to Mr. Chris Hardy, who was in charge of lighting. I stress was in charge of lighting. He retired at the end of March, and this was his swan song in local government. And he went out on a high. And I want to publicly express appreciation for all the work he's done over the years, but particularly during this last 12 months. In addition to that, I want to pay tribute to Mr. Ray Hutton, who's in charge of Southgate Road, and who was also a driving force in getting the street done. What particularly needs to be stressed is the fact that 73% of savings has been made in electricity consumption. This is just gigantic. We're amongst the world leaders in LED, and one looks at different cities over the world and see just where the big names that are doing this. So 73% savings, what wonderful green credentials, and this means the best part of £750,000 a year being saved by the council. And this is a minimum figure, because as electricity prices go up, this figure will be more and more, and this is a fantastic achievement. And I really feel that this is something that we can be really proud of, and the fact is that it's happened in Bournemouth in 1 year, in these circumstances, it was wonderful, and so I'm very pleased to say.
Thank you, Councillor Fowler. Perhaps I can ask to record our thanks to Mr. Hardy and to Mr. Hutton for the work that they've undertaken to make this possible. Thank you. Questions or comments from anybody else on the Cabinet? I'd just like to endorse what we've heard already, and perhaps to emphasise that this council has been involved in creating a better environment for quite some time now. We only have to look at the results of our waste strategy, for example, to see that, both in terms of what has been achieved, and that has been very considerable, with 91 to 92% of waste now no longer going to landfill. Very green, but also economic. And of course, the additional funding that's been attracted to Bournemouth and to Dorset through the Strategic Waste Facility at some £14.2 million. And I think that government only invests that sort of money when they realise they de-risk a piece of work and they've got confidence in the authorities that in the given resource that they will actually deliver on it on time and on budget. So some really good news in there. Won't stop us bidding for more, of course, and we look forward to that strategic waste facility coming on stream as soon as possible. We've got a move which encompasses all three of the substantive recommendations, and we'll go straight to the vote. All those in favour, please indicate.
That's 9-4.